Hello friends, happy 2024. As cliche as it is, I cannot believe that it's already 2024. I feel like literally at the end of 2019 I fell asleep and I have just had a very vivid, very long fever dream that I have yet to wake up from. The fact that so many years have just flown by since is flabbergasting and astonishing. But I'm sure you guys have already seen a bunch of these just renew, refresh, restart, New Year's, January videos, and I love them, especially because I am very much a lover of New Year's. I love the holiday and the traditions and the glitz and the glamour and the nostalgia and the kisses at midnight and the intentions and goals and resolutions to be better, and the hope and the magic that come with the new year. It's always been one of my favorite holidays, and that has only continued on as I've gotten older. Honestly, for a number of years, and I know for so many of us, this is a reoccurrent story, that it's been hard, and a lot of that magic and hope and joy kind of vanished from me. And I have always struggled with anxiety and depression. It's a genetic situation for me, but obviously environmental factors definitely contribute, and with just the state of the world and life and the pandemic and just grief and loss that I personally experienced, life kind of feel like I hit an all-time low at the end of 2022, and I feel like I had lost all of my light and joy and everything that made me me. I felt like I kind of became kind of a hollow shell, which is really dark and sad, but is honest and true. And for a while I thought it was just affecting me, and I could live with that. I guess I just assumed that like this is just what adulthood is like. Take off the rose-colored glasses and this is what life looks like. And that before this whole thing, when I was full of hope and vim and vigor, that I was just naive and young. But then I started realizing that it wasn't just affecting me anymore. It was affecting my kids and my marriage and my husband and how they started seeing the world and the environment that we were creating. And it's just toxic like muck. And I had had enough. So 2023 came, and it was the first year I feel like in a long time that I vowed to make a difference and make changes in my life, and truly believed like it's now or never, and didn't give myself an opportunity to back down. And honestly, it was the first time in a very long time that I had a good year. I feel like for so many years it was just surviving and just treading water and trying not to drown. It was the first year I felt like I was not only treading water but swimming and enjoying it, and it felt so gosh darn good to feel like inspired and excited again and happy and like proud of myself and the progress that I had made and the changes that I had done. And so it's a new year and I feel as excited and as hopeful as ever, and going into a new year just proud of myself for the year that had happened before, and also just really hopeful and expectant for this year. This video is just going to be about the first couple of weeks of the new year, of us enjoying the start of a fresh 2024, but also the goals and the intentions that I have that I wanted to share with you guys, as well as some fun things that I've started and created and I just want to share with you guys. Okay, so the first thing that I have done this year and I would totally recommend you to do if you're looking to kind of restart your year as well, and you can do this any time of year, it doesn't have to be January. That's the great thing about just wanting new goals and new intentions, is that it can happen whenever. I know that for a lot of people January is really exciting, and for myself, and it feels like a renewal and a refresh, but for a lot of people it feels really daunting and stressful. So this can happen whenever, but I do recommend creating a mood board or a vision board. This is fun to do for all seasons. This is fun to do for just new inspiration or just kind of like vibing or with the aesthetics you're enjoying, but I definitely like to do it at the beginning of the year. I did it for last year. Last year, my mood board was a lot more dark and moody and vibey and definitely attracted to the greens. I'm always attracted to some sort of color palette for that year. But this year I created a new one and I thought that I would share it with you. You can do this the old-fashioned way by clipping like magazines and doing a collage in person, but I did it on Pinterest because it was super easy. And I just typed in certain things that I knew were my goals and intentions, but then I also just started finding things that inspired me and that I thought were beautiful and that brought me joy, or that things that I just was attracted to. And I realized that it ended up becoming really cohesive, and it shaped just kind of the way that I wanted the year to go. Like I said, I always normally find like a color palette of some sort that I feel like kind of is something that I'm just really attracted to at that time. And this year it's been like baby blue and just like crisp like whites and creams, and I don't know, there's just something that's like soft and gentle and refreshing and just beautiful and happy. And so I feel like so much of my board has just that, like just a light aesthetic versus my moodiness from last year, which is totally fitting because I feel like that's like two sides of my personality. So I don't know, the little soft, gentle, happy side's out for now, and that may change, and I allow myself to do that, but for right now, this is kind of what I want the year to shape into, and I thought I would share it with you and kind of the different goals and kind of resolutions that I have on there. The first one, and it's kind of on the board more as kind of just like being outside and enjoying my time and just being grounded. Okay, so on that vision board of the things that are like my resolutions or intentions, there are a lot of pictures of just kind of being outdoors or doing things that are just kind of like in the moment, kind of the infinite feeling that I feel like I always chase after. And that kind of goes into a resolution that I started last year that is like one of the few resolutions that I'm very strict on, is taking myself offline, and specifically off of social media. I give myself very large social media breaks, and to be honest with you, that has completely changed my life, and I would recommend it for everyone. I feel like truly and honestly that was the first thing that I started doing last year, and was the biggest thing that changed my whole entire year, and I feel like allowed me to actually like make big changes and achieve those things. I not only have wasted so much time on social media, I mean, I would find myself in like 30-second lulls and just out of habit and completely subconsciously just clicking on to Instagram and picking up my phone and clicking on social media and just like on it, and like just time waste, the time I can't get back, as well as just like the doom scrolling that would then follow thereafter, and the anxiety and the despair and the hopelessness that would just start settling into my spirit. And when I started realizing how much it was affecting not only me but my kids and my husband, that's where I was like, okay, this has got to go, because I can't make the world this magnificent, amazing utopia of a place, but I can create a safe home environment. I can make everyone know that when you come home, whatever happened out there, you're safe here inside these walls. You're loved, you're celebrated, you can find joy and peace here, and that is something that is so important to me and something I want to cultivate. It may seem big and grandiose to like couple that with deleting social media, but like getting off of social media, stopping the doom scroll, all of that stuff, biggest difference. So I deleted off my phone for a period of time, and then I will go back on every so often after a couple months has passed. I don't give myself like a strict deadline of like, you can't be off the whole entire year, because I know that I will fail and I'll end up just being back on it. So instead I just am like, okay, you know, for a whole summer, for a couple months, or I just don't think about it and have it off my phone. And whenever I've accumulated enough things that I, you know, have experienced and want to share with you guys, because I love sharing my life with you, I go back on and I check in, I share with you guys what we've been doing, and I respond to messages and just see how everyone's been doing. And then again, I take a break and I just back on off. If I allow myself too much of it, I'll keep on it. At first it's hard, but then you slowly stop craving it and it goes away and you don't even notice it anymore. And that is my #1 recommended tool to like change your year, is to get off social media and the internet and just live your life and do things that bring you joy. One of the next resolutions or intentions I have this year is just to be more intentional with the time that I spend with others, and not just letting the days pass us by and trying to like check off task on a task list, but doing activities that bring us joy and are fun. Going on dates with my husband and making intentional dates where they feel special and they bring butterflies and you're just excited and you get all gussied up, and really making it meaningful. And because I love our cozy nights in bed, you know, binge watching Netflix, those are super fun, don't get me wrong, and they're needed and necessary, but doing this, just like making an effort and, you know, having a special date night that we plan, whether, you know, we spend money or we don't spend money, but just really being intentional about what we do and spending time together makes such a difference. And I really want to be better about it this year, as well as doing the same thing with my kids, of finding activities that we can do all together or individually, but that we're spending time with one another and we're doing something other than, again, like just checking off our task list or just watching the days fly by, because they will. So making sure that we're making time to fill their little buckets and let them know how much we love them. And then the other thing on this list is just to spend time with my friends more. There's so many pictures on this board of dinners over candlelight and bottles of wine and friends together and dancing and spending time with one another. And those are some of my most treasured memories, and my favorite activity is literally just having a delicious meal and sitting together at a table and talking for hours and hours and hours and just enjoying each other's company and laughing and eating and celebrating. I love it. And so for me this year, I want to be better about doing that, and really just embracing my girlhood and my best friends and enjoying those moments. The next thing is something that I realized last year that I was really lacking, and with all of the hullabaloo of the years previous and just like the depression pit that I'd sunk into, I stopped creating. And if I was creating, it was out of necessity or obligation or guilt or stress. I wasn't writing anymore. I wasn't creating for me. I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't inspired. I just felt like completely empty, and I missed it so much. And so this year it is creating for the sake of creating. Not to be great at something, not to find a new hobby and excel at it, but just to enjoy it and not give myself too much of a hard time if it doesn't turn out perfectly, but just to find a way to be artistic and create and feel inspired and enjoy like that part of myself again. It also, when I start getting in that habit, I start reshaping the way that I think about things, and that creativity just starts like flowing out, and it feels so much better, and I've missed it so much. And so one of those things I decided to do was get a reading journal. I love reading, as you guys know. I've been really big about like logging my reading and writing notes and creating boards on Pinterest of all like the series I'm reading, all the stuff that I've been doing digitally. But with taking a break and getting off my phone, I want to do it more in a, you know, real life mindset and being in a way to create while doing it on paper. And so I got this reading journal. This is just from Amazon. I will share with you guys kind of what's in it and the layouts in a second, but it's just different layouts and pages that I've done and created of tracking my reading and just inspiration and fun activities that I plan on doing this year. I plan on adding just some journal passages and just a way to find something to do that feels artistic and creative, even if it looks terrible, but it's just fun. It's just an activity. There's no pressure. It's just for me, and for me to share with you guys. But I've already obviously started this, and this has already felt so good. And it's already got my mind and my wheels turning in that direction again, and it just feels so good. So my reading journal, I bought a bunch of supplies because I have no chill, and I have just loved it. I cannot recommend it enough, especially if you are a reader, but even if you're not, just finding something to do, a hobby this year or a craft or some way to be creative, even if you're terrible at it. It doesn't matter. It's just for you to enjoy and to get your mind in a different place and perspective. The reading journal goes hand in hand with kind of my reading resolution or goal this year. This is really the only goal that I have that's quantifiable in a way, and that is because I set a limit of the books I want to read. Last year, I only set it to 35. I started low because I had the previous years gone through some, you know, depression and lows, and I didn't do as well as I wanted to, so I set the bar low, and I surpassed it by like, I think like 15 books or something, or 10 books or something like that. I don't remember. No, I guess it was 30 books, and I ended the year at like 45 or 46. So I am raising the bar again this year, and I want to do at least 50, but ideally I'd love to make it to 70. So we'll see where it goes. But right now it's set at 50. If I exceed that number, then that is fantastic. And if I don't, that's okay. But I do want to at least read 50 books this year, and I think it will be easy. I listen to audiobooks all the time. I'm reading all the time. It is like my one true joy and hobby that I just love doing. And so I've already read 4 books this year, and I'm going to share them with you because there are some absolute bangers, and there are a couple that are meh. They're not bad, but they were meh. The other resolution I have this year is to be a bit more active and move my body more. I have no goals or intentions. There's no weight that I want to lose or muscle I want to gain or the weight that I want to be able to lift or whatever. I just want to be more active. I want to move my body more. I definitely did not do that as much during the pandemic, and I started feeling it. absolutely contributed to my depression, and I physically just felt horrible. Last year I made a huge effort to change that, and I've never felt better, and I know it's super dramatic, but I just physically feel so much better. And during the summertime when we were constantly moving and just renovating, I was like just spending like all day, I feel like, on my feet being active. I was exhausted, don't get me wrong, but I never have felt physically stronger, and it was so like motivating, and I never thought that I would enjoy that like endorphin high as much of being active and like working out, but not really. But really, you know, like it's not like I am doing a set of exercises, but I'm still working out. Just I've tricked myself because I'm like doing physically laborious things. Anyway, and I just felt so proud of myself, and I felt so good, and I just didn't expect that I could ever feel that strong. And so this year I just want to get back to that, because after the fall hit, I was like, or after summer and fall came, I was like, I'm gonna take a little break, and I just got really bad in the habit of like not being as active again and moving my body. And so I've been trying to look into different ways that, again, I'm like tricking myself into working out, because I know when I start with strict exercise regimens, I never stick with it. And so I've been wanting to find just different activities and things to do that I find fun, and way to move my body that doesn't feel like a whole bunch of like just tedious exercise. So I've looked into a bunch of different things. I found a bunch of different like book talk workouts of just like training like your favorite hero or heroine from like fantasy novels, which sounds like so much fun, and it's totally the way to get me. Like if you trick me and pretend that I'm training to like save the world, I absolutely will bust my butt working out. But if you're like, no, you just want to look good in a swimsuit, like, you know, whatever, I'm like, meh. Anyway, so that's my other kind of like larger intention and goal for this year, is just to be more active and move my body. All right, so this is my reading journal that I shared with you guys. This is from Amazon, like I said, and I just thought it would be fun to kind of show you the different spreads that I have so far, and just kind of like where I plan to take this. If you guys want to see this like a monthly wrap up, I'm wanting to get back into just like favorites videos. I love doing those, I love watching those, and I thought it would be fun to kind of share with you guys like my spreads and stuff if it's something that you're interested in, so let me know. But this is kind of my opening starter for 2024. I just loved how this turned out. It just makes me happy, and it gives me just all like the fun vintage aesthetic of everything. I just had a bunch of random like stickers and envelopes and papers that I kind of clipped and pasted together, but the reading records of 2024. Then I have my book of the year bracket. I don't know how well this will work out and if it'll actually be accurate without having it be biased in any way, but we will see. I'd seen this a lot in different book spreads, and I just thought it would be fun to do. And then this is my kind of overall like library shelves of all the books that I plan on reading. So I just fill it in whenever I finish a book. I started with the first book that I had finished this year, but I don't like the color palette I was going with, and so I want to find different colors because I don't like how neon this is. So I've yet to find the colors that I want to go with. So once I do, I will start filling it in a bit more. But I am absolutely not an artist in any shape, way, or form as far as like my drawing abilities go, but I just thought this was so cute, and I'd seen similar layouts and stuff on Pinterest and things, and was inspired by it, so I created my own, and it makes me happy, my little shelves. And then this is an A to Z challenge. We will see how far I get on it. Hopefully I'll be able to complete it, but again, it was just something that was kind of fun to make. And then kind of like a book bucket list bingo of just different like things that I want to read this year, or different ways to like use my TBR, because I feel like I am very much a mood reader and then I just don't get to other things. So this is a good option to be able to actually like, you know, get other things checked off my list / actually read my physical TBR because it's getting out of hand. And so far that is it. My next page is going to be my January spread, and of all like the books that I read this month / my ratings and like the music I enjoyed and stuff like that. I have just different ideas, and then I'm leaving it to kind of just whatever comes to me, however I feel inspired. If I want to create actual like journal pages, if I want to create pages based on like the books or series I'm reading, whatever, just enjoying it, just to create again. But I really like this journal. Again, I got it from Amazon, and then I just picked up a couple of other things that I'd seen people talk about with their book journals that they really liked, like these zebra markers. And then I got this really cute little baggie off of Amazon as well. It holds all my pens and supplies in a pretty sage green color. And again, just good old gel pens. These jelly rolls, I forgot how good jelly roll pens are. They're the best. They're so good. So I got a pack of these, some of my old mechanical pencils and pens and, things in there. But, and then I have some like tapes and glues and things like that in the back. But anyway, that is my reading journal setup for the year so far. And it's been so much fun. I cannot tell you enough how much I've enjoyed just doing it. Even if they don't turn out super cute and super aesthetic or super adorable, it's just been fun to do. Like, it's just like it's just like coloring. It's so much fun. So we're gonna do a little book haul. I did not need these, clearly, because of my new bookcase and all of the books that my husband so sweetly filled with it. But I had some gift cards, and I couldn't think of anything else to buy for them, use them for. So here we are. Anyway, they make me happy. So these are all different books that I have been really anticipating reading for this year. They're on kind of like the top of my TBR for the year. Currently, I'm in the middle of the Twisted Love series. I'm on book 3, and I'm also reading Manacled, and oh my gosh, we will discuss that later. Right now, we're gonna talk about the books that I haven't read yet. A couple of these are dark romances, like this one. This is Butcher and Blackbird, the Runis Love Trilogy. I have seen this and heard about this everywhere, and I felt like I was missing out on something. This is about 2 serial killers who I think fall in love with one another. Again, if dark romance is not your vibe, this is probably not the one for you. There is a bunch of trigger warnings in the beginning of this book, and I definitely recommend checking it out if you are interested. But I've heard nothing but incredible things, and I've heard the audiobook is incredible, so I am gonna give it a little dibble dabble, and we'll see how I feel about it. Along the same path as another dark romance, this is called There Are No Saints. I'm in a bunch of book groups on Facebook because I have no shame, and I love reading and talking about books all the time. And this is another one that's recommended quite a lot, and this is by Sophie Lark, There Are No Saints. This, I believe, I want to say it's another serial killer stalker romance, because apparently that's my vibe for the year. Hopefully not. Anyway, we'll see. Broadening horizons. Anyway, this is the next book. This is called The Fabric of Our Souls by K.M. Moronova. First off, the cover is absolutely breathtaking. I randomly stumbled upon it, I think, on Goodreads, and instantly added it to my TBR because of the cover alone. And then I had proceeded to see a bunch of people talk about this book at the end of last year. I do think that this deals with heavily with mental health and potentially like self-harm and suicidal ideation. So again, check the trigger warnings. But it looked so beautiful. It sounded so beautiful. I have heard nothing but good things from this book. I'm very excited / also a little nervous because it seems kind of heartbreaking, but we'll see. This is another book that I feel like I have seen nothing but incredible things for. This was on everyone's end of the year 2023 5-star reads list, I feel like, and I again felt like I was missing out on something, so I got it. This is called Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I do believe that this is a YA novel, but I'm not positive. But it is fantasy, romance, I also believe. I do know at least that it's fantasy. It's about all I know. I want to say people have described this as Hunger Games. Again, going into it kind of completely blind, but the amount of times that someone has said this is 5 stars and one of their favorite reads of the year, I had to have it. So here we are. Don't know anything about it, and we're going into it blind, but honestly, I enjoy that more often than not. And then lastly, we have the first book in the War of the Lost Heart series, Daughter of No World series, however you want to say it, by Carissa Broadbent. I read Serpent King and the Wings of Night? Serpent Queen? The Serpent and the Wings of Night? I cannot remember that name for the life of me. I forget it consistently. Don't know what it's called, but I loved those books. Fantastic, highly recommend. And I read it and instantly fell in a pretty gosh darn bad book hangover, but luckily stumbled upon Fourth Wing, and that changed everything. However, those books were fantastic and I really, really enjoyed them. Everyone recommended this right afterwards and said this was even better. It's by the same author. This, however, is more of a romantic fantasy than a fantasy romance, that being that there are romantic elements into this, but it's not the main thing that's driving the plot. So I have heard this described as similar to Throne of Glass, and I do believe that there's 3 books in this series so far, or maybe there's only a trilogy, don't know. But I've been wanting to read it for a while. I think the cover is absolutely breathtaking. I really enjoyed Carissa's writing in The Serpent. I can't remember the title, and so this was a must-have as well. Oh, this my friends is Taran, and I had him on my Christmas list. I have been wanting him so badly ever since I found this little guy on Etsy. I feel like in the summer after I finished Fourth Wing, I wanted him. He is a 3D modeled Taran, and he already has dust on him. The small shop also creates Sigel and Andorana. You know what? I'm saying it how I read it in my head. So if it's wrong, it's wrong, and I apologize, but that's how I read it. Anyway, but Taran was my all-time fave. I do plan on getting the other ones as well. You can buy them in a group set. I just really wanted him, so for now. So I got him, and is he not the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life? Look at his little face. Oh my gosh, I love him. He's all mobile and just so cool. Like even the little leggies, I'm obsessed. I think he's so freaking cool. And he's sitting up on my bookshelf, which I'll show you in a second, next to Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and I am so happy. This was like not very expensive. It is incredible. I love it. Totally worth it. If you're looking for some cool Fourth Wing like merch or gift items, like this would be a really cool Valentine for a Fourth Wing lover in your life. I'll have the link below because I'm obsessed. All right, we're gonna put him back, but he's just been chilling on this shelf with my Iron Flame and Fourth Wing books and just guarding them, because that's what dragons do, is they hoard and then they guard their treasure, and that's what he's doing for me. I kind of rearranged the bookshelves, and I still have this bottom shelf to clear out because there's still stuff under there from Christmas. I'm not proud of it. Anyway, but I did rearrange and decorate and design my shelves for now. These will definitely keep changing, but for now, we're going with it. So, because this is my Divine Rivals shelf, I have a little typewriter because I know that'll be important. I also have a little bit of my Harry Potter vibes over here, and we kind of go with a little bit of a color palette, if you can't really tell. So, and then this is like my fun rom-com shelf, minus a couple, give or take. I can't wait to continue to expand. I want to get more stuff for my SJM shelf. I need to get my other books. I have everything on Kindle, so now that I can fully expand my collection, I just need to continue to do so. And then some of the books that I have not found a spot for, / I need to add into the other shelves. But want to share that with you because I think it turns out so pretty. Like, look at it. You just come on in, and there's my little library.
Money on spoons. He has a salmon.
All right, so it's been a couple of hours. It's now about 6:39, and we, as you have seen, took the girls to the mall. It's the first time we've been to the mall in quite a while. I feel like, I don't know if it's just like a millennial thing or what, but as a teenager, I loved going to the mall. It was so much fun. I have so many incredible memories of just like going to the mall and spending time with my friends and hanging out. But ever since, I think, the pandemic mixed with like different stuff going on in the world, if you catch my drift, it can feel really scary and just, it's really, really overwhelming, and there's so much stimulation and it's a lot. So we don't go very often because I feel like we're just homebodies, and it's a commitment. But the girls have been really wanting to go because there's a number of stores there that they wanted to visit, and they had some money from allowances and the holidays and birthdays and stuff like that, and so they were just really wanting to go to the mall and spend some of their hard-earned cash, and so it was really fun. But let me tell you, it was exhausting. So we are pretty freaking tired, but we had already pre-planned a little date night / getaway. The cold weather and just the severe weather is potentially supposed to hit on Monday. Today is Saturday, so we have a couple days. So we wanted to kind of sneak away and have like just a night together and go to one of our favorite fondue places and just enjoy each other's company. So that's what we're doing. We're staying at one of our favorite hotels in the area, and it's one that we went to on our honeymoon night. Or like the night of our wedding, and then before we went on our honeymoon. And then we rented out like a big suite for my 30th birthday party and stayed here for a number of days with like all of our friends, and that was so much fun. And so I just have a lot of really positive memories here. So we're staying here, and it's like a really cool industrial style hotel. If you can hear Jazz, that buzzing in the background, Jazz is shaving before we go out on a date. So just the city behind us, nothing too exciting. It's Texas. There's not much to look at, especially at night. But anyway, I am going to change out of my Umbra Mortis shirt, which this is one of my favorite things that I purchased off of Etsy. And I'm having to rep this because Carson City Fury is about to come out in a couple weeks. I'm so excited. Anyway, so I'm gonna change. I'm doing another layered situation because it's freezing outside, and I was dumb and didn't bring a heavier jacket, but that's okay. So I'm gonna change, and then I'll show you what's the window.
People sure think they know what seems best. Too tired to argue, let's give it a rest. Can't pay no mind to what I just said. This is a safe place to lightly tread between your arms. I found the no gift or charm worth needing between your arms. for the cause they want. Might even ban you to prove a point. Don't call the police, they'll raid this joint. I don't want no trouble, I'll save your place. Give me a double of what fate awaits. The Hound of...
I'm currently on book 3 of the Twisted series. I already like blew through the first 2. The third, they just get bigger and bigger as the time goes on, so we'll see. I hear that they get better and better as time goes on, so I don't know. I've enjoyed the first 2 a lot. They're not my favorite, but they've been really fun to read, and they definitely have like kept me interested, and I've wanted to continue to read them. So I think it's a fun series. I will say, like, I haven't just like absolutely adored it and been like, this is the best series ever, but that's typical for me for a lot of like contemporary kind of romance novels. But they're fun. So anyway, I'm on Twisted Hate, which is the 3rd book in the series, and I just started listening to it actually in the car, so I'm only like 3 chapters in, but so far so good.
Needed between your lines.
Alright, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for being here. And don't forget that soon my Valentine's Day gift guide will be coming your way. I am just gathering up all the little last bits and bobs for that to film for you guys. I can't believe that it's already time to film, but I'm excited to share that one with you guys. I know that some of you have already been asking for it, and yes, it is still very much coming your way. But thank you again for being here. I hope that you guys have a wonderful and happy 2024 and a happy new year. I hope that this year brings you nothing but good things, blessings, joy, everything that you deserve. And I am so thankful for each and every one of you and all the support that you have given me over all of the past years, but as well as this year. I hope that we have much in store that's super exciting to celebrate together and enjoy together and create together. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.